Hey guys, this is my test. My name is Ricky Campos. I do pest control, work manual labor by day, pretty much by life. Since I was 16 in one capacity or another, I've been working outside manual labor, and slowly but surely, I've been spiraling down the rabbit hole into losing my sanity in politics. I'm going to try to, maybe once or twice a week, sit down, spiral into insanity, go through a few news stories, and see what we got here going on in the world. And I'm gonna drag you guys along with me. So it's a very simple process. All I'm gonna do, very simple. I'm gonna go to Google News, right? Pick up some of the most popular stories that are here. I already opened up some of the tabs, so I don't have to actually go through them in person. And yeah, we'll slowly spin off into insanity and see, because I'm assuming there's got to be people like me out there, right? It can't just be a bunch of online podcasters that are just do nothing but sit in their mom's basement, like do nothing but are on Twitch all day. There not like working people or TikTok, Instagram influence. There's got to be like actual real people out there, right? That are doing real shit that actually care about the way that our country is just disintegrating in front of our eyes. So let's see what we got here. So we'll open up the first one. This one's coming from NBC News. Okay, so as you guys know, there's a big war in Iran, right? So, or we're not calling it a war, right? If you ask Hegseth and the Republicans, it's just we're gonna wipe the floor with them, and this thing is gonna be over in like what 12 days? Well, 12 days later, and we're still in in Iran. Prices going out the roof, like just pure chaos. So we have here from NBC News, outdated intel likely led to the deadly U.S. strike of Iranian elementary school, sources say. Isn't that just perfect? Our finely tuned, super accurate military, which has the best intel ever, just wiped out an elementary school. So we'll just go real here. And like I said, I won't take you guys through the whole thing. We'll just go just pinpoints, real. Just the crap that's going to absolutely drive us up the wall, right? So more than 170 people, mostly children, right, in this attack, were killed in the February 28th strikes on the elementary school in Manab on the first day of the U.S. and Israeli strikes against Iran, part of a barrage of attacks that also killed Supreme Leader. I'm not even going to bother pronouncing that because why should I? The ongoing investigation has so far found that the munition did not go off target, but rather hit the school because of old intelligence showed it to be the military target, four sources have said. What in the actual fuck? Like, what are we doing? And like I said, there's got to be working people out there that are working 40 hours a day. We're paying a state income tax. We get federal withheld taxes taken out of our paychecks every single week, every 2 weeks, or every month. And this is where our tax dollars are going. It's not going to, making sure that if you get sick, you're guaranteed health care. Like, I just had to go to urgent care like last week. And the amount of paperwork and red tape and bureaucracy that you have to go through just to get medical care is insanity. It makes absolutely no sense. The fact that we do not have some sort of universal single payer health care, but let's not burn that boat, because when it comes to stuff that working people need, hey man, like, how are we going to pay for it? Where's the money? Like, we can't fit that in our budget. We can fit this needless war and then go in there and just actively start laying waste to innocent children. Come on, man. Like, what are we talking about here? That's just freaking ridiculous. So let's move on. Like, it's early. I got a few of them lined up. So that's what we're doing. That's what our military is doing right now. We're going into other countries on day one, and we're just laying waste to innocent school children. Going military strikes, 170 people killed, most of them children. Disgusting. Just what the hell are we doing here, man? So next one we got here. This one's coming from ABC News. Whenever my internet decides to load, like I said, working guy, I can only afford so good internet. Sue me. I mean, I'm sure the picture quality is terrible as well, but what are you going to do, right? FBI warns Iran inspired to attack California with drones in retaliation for war. Okay. So, I don't know how old any of you are, but when I see stuff like this, it just reminds me of the stuff that we see before whenever we're about to go into a needless war with another country, which does not need to happen. This reminds me so much of what used to happen with Afghanistan, Iraq, weapons of mass destruction. It was a bunch of intel coming from the CIA, coming from internal sources, and we know for sure there was a mega threat that's going on. And we find out that the World Trade Center was attacked by a bunch of people funded with United States tax dollars to Osama bin Laden, who was being housed in Saudi Arabia. But that's what it turns into, right? It just always takes the turn to let's ramp up a bunch of fear so that we can get everybody worried, so that we can get everybody on our side, so that eventually we can go and lay waste to yet another country and blow up some more kids, right? Because that's our favorite thing to do, right? Is like the world's police. The FBI warned, and we already know, who's heading the FBI, right? Like this is the cabinet that Trump has put together with Kash Patel. Is just, oh my gosh, it's just, top notch. You know what I mean? The FBI warned police departments in California in recent days that Iran could retaliate for American attacks by launching drones at the West Coast. And this is according to, once again, ABC News. They acquired information on February 12th that they were allegedly aspired to conduct a surprise attack using unmanned aerial vehicles from an unidentified vessel off the coast of the United States homeland, specifically against unspecified targets in California in an event that the U.S. conducts strikes against Iran. This came Thursday, just absolute, like I said, not based in any facts. I'm sure it didn't take them long to start to walk this back. Again here, U.S. intelligence officials have also grown concerned in recent months about the expanding use of drones by Mexican drug cartels and the chance the technology could be used to attack American forces and personnel near the Mexican border. Hey man, look, I live right near the border. I went to the flea market the other day, and we got piñatas out there from quinceañeras and stuff. Hey, those piñatas, they could be housing weapons of mass destruction. Like, what are we talking about, man? That's the Mexican cartel. Do you see what I mean? Do you like the strings that are just being pulled so that we can once again find a reason and drum up a lot of fear so that we can just, we're blowing up schools, man. Like, what's happening? So, okay, what's next? We got another one here. This one's coming from the Associated Press. Like I said, I only try to go with normal news sources. And then, of course, because I'm a working guy, I'm not going to pay extra for those, all of those people that make me have to log in or pay 99 cents a month, which, I mean, if it's good news, it's fine. But no, we're just going to keep it like low key. You know what I mean? Stuff anybody can pull up on their own Google Newsfeed. How the Iran war and surging oil prices are affecting consumers at the gas pump and beyond. I mean, we all noticed it, right? I just gassed up the other day. Prices are surging. And this is the administration that was supposed to say, hey, we're here. We're the ones that we're going to make America great again. We're going to keep gas prices low. Cut to now we have over $3, $3.50 a gallon paying it there at the gas pump, and no chance. If we're going to keep attacking Iran, they're going to keep shutting down ports. They're going to keep blowing up refineries. They're going to keep making it more difficult for us to keep those gas prices low. But I mean, this is this is the great businessman, Donald Trump, who's going to come in and who's going to save the economy. And the economy is tanking. And the backbone of the economy is people that are out there working. Like I said, delivery drivers, long haul truckers. The entire way we structure our country, from the time that we get food and produce and get it to where it needs to be in the grocery stores, and then we go out and we go get the groceries at the grocery store, bring them back to our house, and drive our kids to school. All of that takes gas, unless you own a Tesla or something, which fine, but still, gas is the backbone of our economy. So, spike in oil prices, it's now surpassing $110 a barrel. Across the United States, drivers were paying an average of $3.58 for a gallon of regular gas on Wednesday, compared to $2.98 before the war started. So that's a hike of 60 cents. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you have a 15, 17 gallon vehicle and you need to be gassing that thing up constantly, or you work in an industry where you have to be on the road all the time, like I am, or you have to commute to work. My dogs are out there fighting. They're having a whole moment right now. But I mean, that affects it. California, which we know, California, of course, the cost of living is much higher. Drivers are paying up to $5.34. So I mean, the trickle down on this is just absolutely insane. It's just the damn pop-ups. The damn pop-ups. They always come. So 18-wheeler trucks has been climbing too. 483 gallon for diesel. So everybody's getting affected by this. Fuel prices account for 50 to 60% of the total operating costs of shipping goods. I mean, was this not the guy that was supposed to bring down inflation? Was this not the guy that was supposed to lower prices for everybody and make America great again? This is actual legitimate proof that this administration and these war-mongering policies don't work. You can't do it. It's not sustainable to have a country and just be writing blank checks to the military-industrial complex, and then every time we try to audit them, they can never show us any other receipts. Like, if that was any other business, any other individual, and that was the IRS auditing you, it'd be over. Once again, this is the stuff that pisses me off, because the biggest argument for Donald Trump is he's a businessman. He knows how to run a business. He knows how to run a business into the ground. I mean, that I'm sure he knows how to do, but I don't want him running this damn country into the ground. Whew, okay, fine. We're going to the next one. CBS News, once again, slowest internet in the world. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? So, okay. So, from the book of Those Who Don't Know Teach comes this story from CBS News. Ex-U.S. attorney who said, "This job sucks," in a Minnesota court amid an ICE surge is now running against Representative Ilhan Omar. So, a former U.S. attorney removed from her post for telling a judge that this job sucks during a Minnesota immigration hearing is now running for U.S. Congress as a Democrat against Ilhan Omar. Julie Lee, does it matter? Was taken off of her Justice Department assignment in early February after remarks in a courtroom. She just announced her campaign. I wish it would say what the actual... let me see. She had detailed the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minnesota, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. She made the comments during a hearing for several immigration cases amid a massive uptick in court proceedings. We all know what happened in Minnesota with all of those ICE episodes. At this February 3rd hearing, she told U.S. District Judge Jerry Blackwell she wished he could hold her in contempt of court so that I can have a full 24 hours of sleep. What do you want me to do? The system sucks. This job sucks. And I'm trying every breath that I have so that I can get you what you need. Look, lady, if you think that being a U.S. attorney is hard, try being a representative of your district. And if your main complaint is you don't know what to do, the system sucks, I don't know what to do, I need 24 hours of sleep, maybe you shouldn't be running for Congress. Maybe you should be just a regular district attorney or anything else. But if we're talking politics and we're talking being an actual congresswoman and not being a corrupt congressman, because we know if you want to make money in politics, be a congressman, work in politics. But if you want to be an actually good politician and represent your constituents, I mean, the job is gonna suck, and it is hard, and the system is broken. You think you're gonna get elected as someone who has worked in the government and said it's too hard, I can't do it. Get the hell out of here, man. See, and as somebody that actually goes out there in the hot sun and is digging trenches and, you know, drilling through concrete and crawling under houses and going up in hot attics when it's over 100 degrees outside, I hear stuff like this, man, and I'm just like, get the hell out of here with this crap, man. So we're gonna move on because I'm getting tweaked. There's only gonna be two more, and then I'm gonna just crash out. I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna be like, I can't deal with this anymore. So this one is gonna be CNN. Once again, apologize for my slowest internet in the world. Okay, so this one's some good news. If you're, an actual Democrat, not one of these corporate, fake Democrats that are actually Democrats and just always vote for Republicans all the time. So, Democrat Sean Harris is going to face a Trump-endorsed Republican Clay Fuller in a runoff to replace Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, if you follow politics at all, you remember how she is. So she finally saw the light at the end of the horrendous hell tunnel that is the Trump administration and said, I can't deal with him anymore. I'm out. So they're having a special election to try and fill her spot. And in the meantime, Georgia, which is House 14, District House 14, there's actually going to be a runoff because no candidate was able to hit that 50% threshold. So all of these candidates, and there were plenty of them, all ran in that special election. You have to hit 50%. If you don't hit that threshold, it automatically goes to a special election. So the top two candidates will run against each other to find out who will ultimately win. In the grand scheme of things, I mean, I don't think that Sean Harris, which is the Democrat, has an actual shot to win just because Georgia is so Republican, and so is especially that district in particular is so Republican. But the interesting fact that I found is just based on, I mean, and like I said, all of those Republicans were stealing votes away from Fuller, which I believe that Fuller was actually endorsed by Donald Trump. So this is kind of a metric or a way of actually showing that there has been some sort of break in the Republican Party where at least some of these Republicans are starting to see the fact that, you know, Trump is terrible. I would argue that the entire Republican ideology is terrible, but hey, that's a different video. We'll get to those later. So you can see the breakup here. Sean Harris won 37%, Fuller 34%, and then I'm not going to click on that because my internet is slow enough, but I mean, the breakdown is, you know, all of those little percentage points, which I'm sure were mostly Republican candidates, were all kind of stealing it from him a little bit. Anything else here? I'm kind of curious to know how, if there's any, okay, here we go. I wanted to see if there was anything in this article that actually said how Republican this district actually was. I know that it is, but how much? Trump actually won that district by 37 percentage points in 2024. So this is going to be a very interesting runoff election to watch. Not just because it's going to keep Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat not filled. I think it's going to be in about a month or a month and a half. So the Republicans will have that empty seat where no one will be able to, you know, use that seat. And right now that the Republicans have a majority, that seat could be very useful. So the fact that they're not going to have it, it's going to be vacant because of this runoff, that's going to help. You know, anything worse that the Trump administration can do over the month, because we can see how much damage they can do in just 1 year. But it's also going to be interesting to see when this runoff does happen. And like I said, Harris is most likely to lose, but can he gain ground and close that gap of 37 percentage points when that special election happens? And how is the turnout? Are they getting Democratic voters to actually get motivated to go and vote? And I think that's the biggest thing that Democrats need to focus on. It's not catering to the Republicans and their terrible views, their terrible ideology. It's, can we get those Democrats who are just registered and refuse to vote, or of age and just don't even bother registering because the Democratic Party never does anything for them? Can we get those Democrats out there and go vote? That's going to be interesting to see. Man, I sound like that guy, Steve Kornacki on, is it MSNBC? The guy with the big board? The guy that's always there on election night? Okay, this is my last one, and I promise, because this one is just like, oh man, classic, like, you know, southern cities where like small towns where like people are, you know, chewing on weeds and stuff like that and just marrying their cousins and stuff, just like classic southern behavior. Judge rejects attempt to block a law that restricts bathroom use and invalidates driver's licenses. Listen to this. Listen to what these legislatures are doing with their power. And of course, this is the state of Kansas, so this is not federal. This is really only affects people, but it's just to see the amount of like depravity and just disillusionment that some of these Republicans have it's next level. And I mean, it's funny when you're not living in that state, but when you realize just these are the worst people. Like, these are the people that if you go to a party and they start talking, you start to not just want to leave the party, you start to reassess everything that brought you to this point in your life, right? Like, what type of friends am I hanging out with that somehow this guy ended up in the room? Like, what the hell is going on? These people are sick puppies, man. So, Douglas County District Judge James Macabria, the douchebag, declined Tuesday to pause enforcement on a new state law that invalidated driver's licenses and criminalizes bathroom use for transgender residents, saying he doesn't have enough information yet and believes Kansasans are tolerant. Oh, yeah. Kansasans sound really, really tolerant. In a 6-page ruling, which includes a section titled Who to Believe, Macabria said attorneys for the American Civil Liberties Union and Attorney General Chris Kobach provided no examples to support their claims that the law will harm transgender people or that the law makes bathrooms more secure. So, my question is, what does this law do, right? Like, is it as bad as it sounds to me? Or is it just one of those laws that it sounds bad, but it's not really affecting anyone? So, let's go down here. Under the law, individuals in public buildings must use bathrooms and other private spaces such as locker rooms that align with their sex assigned at birth rather than their gender. It isn't clear how governments, schools, universities, libraries, and other entities are supposed to even ensure proper bathroom use, but failure to do so will result in a $25,000 fine on the first offense and a $125,000 fine on subsequent offenses. How small does your dick have to be that you're worried that someone of a different gender might take a look at it? What the fuck are we doing? $25,000 fine just because someone wants to just use a bathroom that they feel comfortable with? I don't even understand what the purpose of this law is. You go and you spend hours drafting a bill, spending time, meeting with other people on it, making deals on it, and this is what you come up with. This just the individual. Okay, though that's the $25,000 fine is if someone goes into your place of business and uses the wrong restroom, you have to pay $25,000 on the first offense, $125,000 on the second. If an individual does it, he will receive a warning on the first offense while the business already had to pay their fine, right? Because that's how you run good businesses over there in Kansas, where they're over there getting freaky with their cousins. And a $1,000 fine for breaking the law on subsequent offenses, and will be charged with a Class B misdemeanor on the third and subsequent violations. Just absolutely. So that's just ridiculous. In the ruling, Macabria said he rejected the assumption that every restroom visit is fraught with the potential for violence or embarrassment. I'm telling you, tiny dicks. I'm telling you, it's right there. He said it. That's in quotes. That's his words. Is fraught with the potential for violence or embarrassment if this law is not immediately suspended. Get the... Okay, or especially to assume the legislature intended to promote such negative experiences when the law was passed. The law also requires that gender markers on driver's license and birth certificates match an individual's sex assigned at birth. They're taking away people's driver's licenses. You're driving in your own car. Like, we either live in a free country, and these are the people that promote freedom. The Republicans, we're all about freedom. We're all about freedom, except like here in Texas, we're all about freedom. But like, but you can't watch porn on your phone. You have to give us your driver's license first. We're all about freedom. But like, if you want to smoke weed in the privacy of your own home, that you can't do that. Weed is illegal. That you don't have the freedom for that. We're all about freedom. But like, wait, Trump doesn't like that CBS News said that, so like we're going to start to walk all that stuff back because it's not right that you should be saying that stuff about the press. But they're all about freedom, right? Yeah, my dogs are pissed off about it too. Just the most ridiculous crap you've ever freaking heard in your life. Shortly before the law took effect, the Kansas Department of Revenue sent letters to 275 residents who had changed their gender markers to let them know that their driver's license had been invalidated. Meaning, there's 275 people with driver's licenses, meaning most likely, unless they're just incapable of driving, There's 275 adults in the entire state that are identifying as something that was not their birth gender. 275. And we're making bills and laws about this stuff when all they want to do is take a piss, drop a deuce, and drive to work. That's it. These are tax-paying citizens just wanting to, use a bathroom and drive to work so they can pay their taxes. His argument is that during a court hearing Friday that 138 of the 275 individuals who were affected by the law had already gotten a new driver's license. You can't take it seriously. The impossibility of complying when so many already have, Kobach said. Okay, so his argument is because 138 people have done it, that makes it okay. So I'd hate to do the Nazi thing, right? But when Hitler started putting Jews in concentration camps and they started willingly going at first, because a few of them started to go, that makes it all okay? What? So I was like, 275. That may seem like a lot to some people. To me, it didn't. To me, it's like, wow, there's only 275 in the entire state. How many people are in the state, right? But then I got even more bothered. I was like, okay, these are 275 people that they're losing their minds about, right? They want to do nothing but drive, use the bathroom. Very simple stuff. So I said, how many gun murders are in the entire state of Kansas? And once again, my internet being real slow, but based on a 2025 report from Guilford's Law Center, Kansas experienced, on average, 15.4 deaths, which I guess half of you gets shot and killed, but not entirely. I don't know. It's an average, so I know it's just a number. But on average, 15.4 firearm deaths per 100,000 residents. I wanted a number, like I wanted an actual number, right? But there was some also good, interesting stuff here, right? Like ranking. Kansas ranks 42nd out of 50 states on gun safety. So I'm like, well, 15 isn't that many, right? But how many people are in Kansas, right? So then I went residents in the state of Kansas. So there's 2.97 million. So just to do some quick math here, there's 2.9 million people in Kansas, which if you put 100,000 into that, that would be, you can put 100,000 into 2.9 million 29 times, right? Assuming my math is right, which I do pest control, okay? Don't shoot me. So if you take 29 by the average of 15 people, and I'll take the low end, right? That comes out to 435 people. So 435 people are dying because of murder in Kansas, yet they rank 42nd out of 50 states in gun safety. So they don't care if you die in Kansas. They just don't want you to use their bathroom. What? So, like I said, this stuff, absolute bull crap, the dumbest crap ever. Like I said, working a 40-hour week, working in the hot sun, getting home, looking at stuff like this, it just, how can that not piss you off? How can that not piss you off to the point where you realize that just like that district attorney couldn't, or that attorney general couldn't handle it, she just had to walk away because it was too hard. It was too broken. I look at stuff like this and I realize that our country is inherently broken. And there's only one way we're going to fix it. It's going to be people like us, the working people who never actually go out there and vote. You guys need to be, and if you don't want to go into, and like I said, this is just straight off of Google News. These are top stories on Google News. If you don't want to go into it and read it yourselves, hey, feel free to follow me in any way that you possibly can. Watch these little tiny snippet videos and get pissed off with me. And then when it comes time for us to go on to election day, at least we're mildly more informed than we were last year. Because this kind of crap, we can't allow this kind of stuff to keep going on. We work too damn hard and we pay too many freaking taxes for our tax dollars to go to these corrupt congressmen, to go to these corrupt billionaires, to go to these corrupt wars and military industrial complexes where it's a free-for-all slush fund. And I'm tired of my tax dollars going to things that are not actively benefiting working people and people that actually need it. And I don't think that's too much to ask, don't you? Like, at what point does our country start to actually work for its people and not actively against them? So anyway, that's all I got, guys. Once again, my name is Ricky, regular blue collar, middle to low income guy who's just getting into politics and realizing it's a shit show. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.